I studied abroad in Alcalá, Spain this summer through the Pitt and Alcalá program. The first 2 weeks of class we just studied medical terminology in Spanish, and then the second 2 weeks I actually got to shadow in a hospital. So one thing that I found was studying abroad in a foreign country was humongously different than studying in a classroom on Pitt's campus. When I take Spanish classes on campus, I do use Spanish a lot and I learn a lot, but when you're fully immersed in the culture, and especially when I was shadowing in the hospital using Spanish every day, you're kind of forced to go the extra mile a little bit and really get more of a holistic experience in terms of your education. If you're in a career in medicine and you only know about the U.S. healthcare system, you lack a different perspective that you can get from studying abroad like I did in my undergrad.
This past summer, with funding from the PittAdvantage Grant, I went to Amman, Jordan to study Arabic over the course of the summer. I was there for 2 months and I studied 2 semesters worth of Arabic. One of the things that I now want to do is work with people coming from the Middle East, coming to the United States in the hospital setting to help them accomplish their goals in the United States when they come as refugees from these areas of really a lot of turmoil. The PittAdvantage Grant had a lot of good essays that they asked you to answer, a lot of essays that really got you thinking about what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you want to accomplish out of it, and what your overall goals are for your life. These questions are essential to who we are as people and what we end up achieving in our lives.
So this summer I went to Beijing, China to undergo intensive immersion for Chinese language. I was at a Chinese university, Minju Daxue, in Beijing for 2 months. So I did 8 weeks of classes. And 1 day of class at ACC is equal to 1 week of class here in the US. I was in advanced 1 Chinese, so every day I would learn anywhere from 100 to 150 characters. At ACC, I was not allowed to speak English. I really had no contact with English unless I was talking to a friend on the phone in the US or my parents. And so that really accelerated how quickly I learned Chinese. When you take the time to learn about these countries, that you care about them and you care what happens outside of your borders. And I think that's one of the most appreciative things that somebody in that native country can get from US students studying abroad, is that we do care and we want to learn about your country and your issues.
I used the PittAdvantage Grant to study abroad in Pitt in a Bolivia program. It was the first program of its kind in Bolivia, and it was a 6-week summer course from May to June. Bolivia has 32 indigenous languages, including Spanish, so a lot of the language and terminology interlap with one another. I learned a lot being abroad, and I definitely learned a lot of cultural awareness and competency. I believe that getting the global perspective is very essential as a pre-med student and even in any career field, because you need that holistic view in order to do your job well.
I studied abroad in Pitt in Costa Rica. I took Spanish 4 and Human Rights in Latin America. I also taught English to adults who were seeking more proficiency in the English language. The great thing about studying abroad is that I always had constant active exposure to the language, and I was forced to constantly use it. This study abroad experience allowed me to just be a part of a culture firsthand that I haven't been in before. I stayed with a host family and they had a lot of traditions and a different principle towards life that I've never experienced before going abroad.